Ladies and gentlemen, the first man to build 21-inch biceps, drug-free.
My friends, you put on this video and you will get information that you've never gotten anywhere else. Because what I have to give you, nobody else can give you that. And that is the first man in the world to develop a 21-inch muscular arm without steroids. First man in the world that was the first man on Joe Weider's, black man on Joe Weider's, the cover of Joe Weider's magazine. And Joe Weider controlled the entire industry at the time. All the major bodybuilding focus was on Joe Weider's magazines. I was the first black guy to do a series of articles on bodybuilding in Joe's magazine, Joe Weider. All you got to do is you can get a sample of some of those articles on my website, leroycolbert.com. Now, let me tell you something, my friends. Some people that know me, the vast majority don't. But what I'm presenting to you is unique because there's nobody else in the world that have the positive that I have. Nobody else in the world. I was the first man, remember, and I want you to know that. Now, my name's Leroy Colbert. And when you say Leroy Colbert, many of you are going to say, who the hell is that? What I'm telling you from the beginning, the background, so you don't scratch your head and say, who is he? First man. Now, I want you to remember it, because nobody beats first. Guy can come along with a 30-inch arm, won't make a difference. You'll hear about me because I was number one. I was the first black man on the cover of the magazine. I think I was about 20 years old, 21 years old. I've been training all of my life. My life is to you. I'm dedicating everything to you. And I want you that don't know me to click on it and see who's Leroy Colbert. Go on Google anywhere so that you don't say, who's just another bodybuilder. I'm not just another bodybuilder, my friends. I want you to really realize that because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds out there. They're not telling you what they know. They're not telling you what they heard or read. They're telling you what they heard or read. I'm telling you what I know. I've experienced bodybuilding, my friends, and the very primitive days when they laughed at us. The routine that I'm going to tell you about is a routine and a diet that was based on slow knowledge. That wasn't based on, what do you think I should do next? We didn't have Leroy's then. You got Leroy. Leroy went through it all. He experienced all the pain, the ups and downs, what worked, what doesn't work, what may work. Some guys just don't have the patience. Some don't understand, and some don't want to understand. But let me tell you something, my friends. I meet them all the time. And I'm not a young guy. I'm up there in numbers. But I meet them all the time, and I hear I used to train. If everybody that used to train went back to training, the gyms would be swamped. But what happened? They didn't get the proper guidance, and they went at it, just go on at it, do the best they can. No concept of how the body works. Now, I want to tell you the most important thing in your routine to build your body is I want you to. Now, let me tell you, what I want you to do is I want you to focus, if possible, which is difficult, but if possible, to focus on what I'm telling you. The body works in stages. And I'm going to give you the stages that I went through, why I went through those stages, the type of adjustments I had to make to get to those stages. And then you'll see why I'm presenting myself to you this way. I'm doing it because I've done over 400 videos, but I get videos asking me, why do you do this? How do you do this? How do you combine this? I'm going to try and tell you in this video as much as possible and how and the type of exercises I did for me to go forward and for you to go forward. I want you to examine these exercises. I want you to digest them. I want you to think. Because when I tell you this, you're going to first say, well, I'm an example of my training. And you can remember one thing. You go through the YouTube, go anywhere, and nobody you see has developed 21-inch arm, drug-free, first man in the world. And that'll let you know that I'm not telling you what I heard or read. I'm telling you what I know. My friends, I'm not going to list a whole lot of exercises and tell you do this, 3 sets of that, 4 sets of that. You get plenty of that. I'm going to give you the nucleus of training, how you should train, how you should zero in. The whole idea, my friend, is not to do 5 sets of this, 2 sets of that, 5. It's meaningless in the end. The whole idea is, why are you doing this? What is the purpose? What is your goal? What you want to do? Now, when we started training, my friends, because I want to let you know the long, hard, arduous way it is if you want a world-class body, or if you want to stay at your training. In order to stay at your training, my friends, you must be focused, must be enthused, and must have a reason. And if you're focused, enthused, and have a reason, it will motivate you to train harder and more dedicated. Now, when we started training, my friends, and a lot of you are so young, yesterday is old. But I want to give you the experience is so essential for longevity. You know, I know, look, you see, I am relating to you, my friends, because I went through the slow, arduous way of training and building your body. And I know how long it takes. But you see, my friends, we didn't have creatine, glutamine. You know what we had? Let me tell you what we ate, my friends. And we thrived on it. And you know, we did not know why it was working so well. But we knew that's what we had to eat to thrive. See, we found bananas and kale and all that stuff they're crying about now. Just didn't do it. Didn't strive the muscle. Didn't make us grow. There was no too tight protein, glutamine, creatine, all kinds of stuff. It was unheard of because we were looked down upon as nuts, but late heads. But we were consumed by trying to get bigger, trying to grow. And that's what we were consumed by. Now you see, in those days when it came to eating, our diet was very, very protein orientated, my friends. Not that we knew. There was no science. Nobody was telling us to do that. They were telling you to eat that. Well, they weren't talking too much about vegetables. They weren't talking about anything then. Just eat 3 meals a day. But we noticed the more cottage cheese we ate, the more eggs we ate, the more meat we ate, we grew faster and stronger. But we didn't know why. We knew it worked. We knew all the stuff they were talking about because they didn't know shit about nutrition then. They're just babbling along. And later, as time went on, they started, when Dr. Atkins first came out with the high protein diet, they called him a a fraud. You know what he's talking about. Of course, we in our experience knew better and we ignored it. That was the basic of our diet. And we know what we used to also do, but you can't do now because of all the chemicals they put in the eggs. You used to take orange juice, put 3 or 4 eggs in it, shake it up and drink it. You know, that was one of our boosts when we were training. These were the things, because my friends, we had to develop this mode because there were no Leroys around. There was nobody say, try this, do this, don't do that, do this. Nobody. We had to experiment. And you know what? Another thing, my friends, there were no machines then. We built our bodies on barbells and dumbbells, chinning bars and dips. It was the basis of our body because there was no machine. You had to build your own gym. There was no bodybuilding. They had a little stuff in the YMCA. You had to build your own gym. So what happened? We started off experimenting. What shall we do? We know the basics because you know the basics. We do the curls, and we use the barbell curls, and we do straight up curls because we didn't know any better. And we didn't know, of course, that was the best way to do it, but that's what we did. We did standing presses, and we did rowing motion, and we did chins. One of the best exercises, even to the day, for widening your body and your lats is a wide arm chin with your palms facing forward, not facing to you, because when you take to you, it's like a curl and it's not as effective. But these are the kind of things we started off the basis. Then when we got into this, we began to experiment. What works best? How hard to train? How much to train? What is too much? We had to figure it all out. We had the time, the enthusiasm. We didn't have these guys like you have today, loaded with all kinds of drugs and injections and things to tell us do this, do that. We didn't have that. All we had was what works and what we think would work and what experiment would work. And we experimented. We used to train to exhaustion. And then we found out that didn't work. Even though we were young, and they always said we were young, dumb, and full of cum. But even then, every day was no good. Because we didn't give our bodies time to recover. But we didn't understand it. We didn't know. We didn't understand the recovery. We just wanted to build muscle. So we decided that's not going to work out. We're going to have to cut this down. Because we were tired all the time, pushing. And you know, we were in our youth, we were in our teens. You know, you're loaded when you're in your teens. But even then, we were overworking. We didn't put it together. And that takes time and experience. And that's what I want to convey to you. Now, when you're training, the most important thing in your routine is continuity. And that is, they got this stuff through barbell today, curls tomorrow. Continuity is what the body responds to. You train it to respond to your continuity. And you train on certain days. You don't have to be certain time, but certain days to keep up the momentum. Now we're going to get more into this, but this is what we're going to get for now. You know, my friends, you guys keep me going. And you know, I have a lot of friends, you know, grew up with me, old like me, and they laugh. They say, what are you doing on the goddamn videos? Fuck those guys. They're not into it. It's not part of their body, their soul like me. See, this is my soul. I'm thriving. I mean, I'm not. See, what motivates me I said, I got something to offer. I'm not telling you from what I heard or read, as I said before, I'm telling you what I know based on years of trying experience. I remember how we started. The world's almost like in a ghost town. You didn't know where to turn. If you go left, what happened? You go right. But we were young. And in those days, you used to holler, young, dumb, and full of cum. The vibration, the drive, the urge to build was overwhelming. It was about 10 of us all together. We put the West Side Barbell Club together on the Lower East Side in Manhattan. It's a high school called Seward Park. You had Marvin Eder, Artie Zeller, Seymour Coney. All of the guys were like, so excited. But we were in the dark. Everything was experimental. What you guys strut around here, should I take this drug, should I take that drug? It was unheard of. The only drug we knew was hard work. And how was the best way to achieve what we wanted with the hard work? So at that time, the unwritten law then was don't do over 3 sets. Guys used to drop their weights after 3 sets. Terrified. Terrified that they were going to overwork. It was like an overwork syndrome, even though it was not, it's like an underground, don't overtrain. That was the thing. We had guys that built pretty good bodies, never did more than 3 or 4 sets. Okay, so we started our thing, we did 3 sets, and we were fumbling around now with you guys sitting around, and I enjoyed. So it's nothing like the experience that I enjoy. I enjoy the evolution and how bodybuilding has grown from something looked down upon until what we did. So scrambling along, dragging along, trying to build. We said, what should we do? Well, we did the curls. And let me tell you something, my friends. There's no magic exercises. There's nothing that John Doe has, nobody else has. It's the way you put them together. And we put them together with experimentation. Now, we wanted big lats. And I tell you because we didn't have lat machines then. I tell you, to me, and from my experience, there's no exercise that'll build the width of the lats like the wide grip chin. Hands over, not hands under, hands over the bar. So that you bring out the scapula, it brings out the lats, unbelievable. Now, we first of all, most of us didn't do the exact same exercise in the sequences that others did it in. But we did the exercises that made us comfortable. So that's another important thing when you do a routine. If you do an exercise that you're uncomfortable with, you're not going to get the most out of it. Now I'm talking to you now, and I'm telling you the truth. Because I look at you guys, most of you don't know me, but the ones that saw my video, I'm kind of tired. Yeah, last night I did some leg work and some pulley work, and the drive, where am I going? But I know one thing, when I do go, I'm going to go with my head up because I tried and I trained and I devoted. I'm consumed by it. And it's a funny thing, when we talk about it, some of those guys are younger than me, and we discuss it, and we talk about how we were trudging along, what the best thing to do. Now, all these exercises, you see these guys sitting up there telling you supersets, trisets, compound sets. We developed all that on the East Side, New York. We developed all those ways of training by experimentation. That's one of the reasons, my friends, I talk to you the way I talk to you, because I want you to encompass it, not watch it. Because, my friends, when you encompass it, you learn and you grow. When you watch it, you really don't grow, you don't learn. See, that's one of the shortcomings I find today When I have got people say, oh, I used to trade, they're turning off on it now. They see all those freaks out there, they don't look like that. It's nothing to propel them, like in our day when we were growing. But now, take my routine. Now, we all used to do barbell curl. That was like religion. Barbell curls with a bicep. We used to do a lot of standing curls. You know, not sitting, standing. We used to do, now here's exercises that we basically did, the top ones. Now for me, the exercise that I loved the most was curls, bench presses, and chins. That was my love. Those are the exercise, and the chin, and yeah, the curls go down. And listen, my friends, I'm going back now. You guys are at me thinking, what? I'm going back, and I'm trying to remember in sequence how we trained. I knew the exercise that we used, but today I love the wide grip bench press collar. The collar is unbeatable, in my estimation, for that thick slab of muscle on your pectorals. You see, the closer you bring your arms in, the more it works your tricep, not the pectorals. Now these guys were doing a lot of laterals and so forth and so on, but nothing beat the bench press wide grip. And I tell you something, my top bench press was considered, was 400 pounds, one rep. I thought I was closest thing to Jesus when I did that, you know, but I was so into that. It was so part of my routine. See, see what I cannot give you, what you have to give yourself is that drive, that feeling of I want to build. And you know something, my friends? There was no gold, right? I think it was about one or two guys. I mean, a lot of the guys like Steve Reed, those guys are before me. But, you know, they weren't something where you say, oh shit, I'll never look like that. They were all in that human range, contrary to today. So what we do, what I would do, my first exercise of the day was usually the curl, barbell curl, because I wanted arms, not looking for the biggest arm, just wanted to build my arms. And then I did the bench press. And then after the bench press, I would do the dumbbell, usually the most was barbell because we didn't have many dumbbells, it was mostly barbell presses. I did that. And another thing we developed, and we found to build a rib cage up, we used to do a lot of pullovers, bent leg pullovers and bent arm pullovers. Now remember, nobody's telling us this. Nobody's saying they do this, do that. This experimentation. So the point was, that was our basic, that's the basic exercise that I did. And I was doing 3 sets. And let me see if I can remember. Now, see, now another thing I'm telling you, my friends, so you understand. I don't have a script. I have no teleprompter. I don't have nobody saying, hold, wait, say that again. I'm telling you from the heart, from where I feel. And I'm trying to remember some of the details of how beautiful it was in our day. How training was so exciting, so meaningful, so health-orientated. And as I said, I feel sick when I see what these guys are doing, pumping their bodies with liquid so they'd be all swollen and all that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it makes me sad because we really enjoyed it. It was a joy. And with that joy, we developed. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a guy all my life. I want to know why. I don't know what it is. We all, my friends, have a basic nature. All of us. We think, we go in a direction, we don't know why they go in the direction of themselves. But I always wanted to get to the bottom. I wanted to know it was more than the prevailing wisdom. It's got to be more than this. So here's how why I'm the first man developed 21 inch arm. Because In the gym, we would do the 3 sets, and after 3 sets, we would drop the weights like they were on fire because, oh, you're overtrained. That was like a. So, you know something? After I did 3 sets, I was very unhappy. I said, I want to do more. So I started doing 6 sets. Boy, you guys, you should see the guys in the gym. Oh, man, your muscles going to fall down. Oh, everybody was and I started growing, and they watching. My arms started growing, and I was adding more sets to the exercises, and I'm being enthused and fascinated because I'll tell you something, my friend. I was really afraid. It's amazing what the prevailing wisdom do to you. It was so pervasive. I said, but I'm going to try more. And once I started blossoming out, the gym went crazy. That was the answer. And we were doing 10 sets of body part when it was unheard of in the rest of the country. Unheard of. And we grew and we grew and we grew. But what I want to tell you, my friends, my basic routine was nothing. I mean, I can't tell you, do 10 sets of this, 2 sets. And you know what? Another thing is that you evolve when you're training, when you're into it. Now, we all have different goals. I wasn't training to win a contest. I was training to build my body. I just wanted to be as well built as I could. But I wanted to maximize it. And I want to find things to maximize. Now, my basic arm routine was a standing barbell curl and the bent over concentration curl, which we used to call it the 21. Those are my 2 basic exercises of the bicep. But I was not happy with it because with the bicep, you have to balance yourself when you're standing. Make sure you don't pull one arm up more than the other. So I said, let me start doing the dumbbell curl, or the dumbbell curls. And I find they were the chief exercise for me in the size of my arms. I went up to the point I was using 95-pound dumbbells, one in each arm. The weights were so heavy, I had to have my training partner to hold my knees down because you go back, you may trip over and fall on your back because the weight was so heavy. And that's the nucleus, the structure of my entire arm routine. My entire bicep routine based on those 2 exercises. Of course we did other exercises, but those were and I went at it with a passion. Because I saw the arms growing in front of me, like slowly being infused with air. It's a great feeling, you know. And everybody, but then another exercise we used to do a lot of too that I didn't bring up, we used to do a lot of dips. There's a picture in the Facebook, which I don't know where the guy got it from, showing me doing the dips on the parallel bar with my great friend, Artie Zeller, sitting on my feet as the weight, extra weight. We used to do a lot of that. But you see, we didn't do it like you watch it out on a book or a routine. We did it with feeling. But how does this work? How does that work? How do we feel with this? But you see the difference then, my friends. We didn't have anybody standing behind us saying, giddy up, let's go, let's go. We were just so even out on training and improving and eating. And our diet was really funny. We used to take eggs, raw eggs, and mix it with orange juice and drink that in between. Like we'd take maybe 4 or 5 eggs, sprinkle with orange juice, and drink that before a routine training. Now, let me tell you something, my friends. There was no science behind that. There were no books written behind that. That's where the books were. It was feeling, desire, and the idea we wanted to get as strong as possible. Now, for me, I found the seated alternate curls the best exercise for me. Now, when I say alternate, I don't mean 1, 2, I don't mean that because some people have no fear at all. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in unison. I found it because you see what happens, my friends. By doing that seating, all of your strength and everything's concentrated on your arms. You can't throw up one when you're standing because there's nowhere to throw up, you're sitting. And that's what I liked about that particular exercise for the bicep. I found it now, some guys didn't like this. Some guys like the standing barbell curl. Some guys like most of the guys like the standing barbell curl. Very little dumbbells they were using, at the time because we didn't have to, they didn't go up heavy enough until later on, But a lot of guys didn't go for that exercise that I did. That was my main exercise for the bicep, plus the concentrated curls would be changed to the 21, and we call it the scoop because you scoop it up to get the peak on the bicep. See, my friends, to tell you what I did step by step is very difficult, and I don't want you to follow what I did step by step because everybody's routine is calculated to how they feel and how they respond. So you see all these great bodybuilders, look at them, they all do the same exercise, nothing new, but they collect them differently. See, they don't have, like, I was a seated bar or dumbbell. A lot of guys just didn't like to exercise, that particular exercise. The most important thing I did in my workout was find the exercises that I respond to. Now, another very important exercise guys don't, think much of, but just fantastic for building your rib cage. You look at some of my pictures and you see how my rib cage, because we used to do a lot of that. We were into the pullover. We used to do it bent arm, which is the tricep, and we used to do it straight arm. And that built the whole rib cage to give that more of that vacuum look. See, these were the things that we were able to focus on based on experimenting. Not what John Doe did, but what we did. The triceps, the compound exercise. Now the triceps, another thing we cooked up. You do a set of curls, and you do a set of tricep, then you do another set of curls. That's a set. You don't stop training till you do that 3, that's a set. Then you rest, and don't ever rest to the point where you're fully rested, where you feel like you're starting to get. Once you catch your breath, go back to your routine. Now, we used to do that, and we call that the tricep, which was and then we used to do what you call the compound set. You would do 2, instead of doing the compounds, woo, boy, right, it was exciting. It's like having an orgasm. You do 2 sets of an exercise, then another 2 sets, then you stop. And I mean without, taking a breather. Now, of course, you can use maximum weight doing that. But what you do, my friends, is you concentrate the intensity at a short period of time. See, the only difference, my friends, in weight and bodybuilding is that body is the concentration of work in the shortest period of time. If work itself built muscles, the best built men in the world would be the bricklayers that's working all day, setting the bricks on the wall. But it's not intense enough. Now, I see, take 100 pounds, my friends. Now, you and I got 100 pounds in our arm. The body can only maintain the weight a maximum amount of time. Say you do 12 reps of that 100, and I do 20 reps. That means I subjected my muscles to 2,000 pounds of stress in one exercise, and you only got 1,200 pounds of stress in that exercise. My body will respond quicker and faster by me concentrating than you not concentrating. See, remember one thing, my friend, it's not outside your body. your body will go crazy trying to accommodate you. But you have to be able to understand it. And we used to do, my friends? We used to call it burnout day. Once or twice a month, we would go to the gym and train about 4 hours straight, doing 15 sets of everything. We had to take us, and in New York City, we were born and raised in New York City, everything was the subway. You get on the subway, you go home. We were so tired after workout, it was hard to walk but it was called Burnout Day. And we used to look forward to it because we knew that was the day we were going to burn ourselves out training. We were not dumb enough to know that you can't do that every day. We would do sometimes once or twice a month. But it was so, and we grew. It was the constant growth, the constant enthusiasm, and we were searching for something. I remember what can we get? At that time, blackstrap molasses and brewer's yeast is about all you can get in the health food stores, and grains and stuff. And we didn't build any muscle. So we said, let's see what they got at the health food store for muscle. But in the health food store, the guy says, oh, the best thing you can get for strength and recovery and muscles is honey. So we didn't know. It's okay. So all got a 1 pound bag jar of honey, not understanding the science of the body now. And we take a sip of that honey, and that instant going right into the blood. Boy, we felt great. But you know what happened? By that instant screaming into the bloodstream, our blood sugar levels zoom, and then they drop. And then after the honey wore, you had to take another sip of honey to get that strength back again. Then we started bringing 2 pound jars of honey to the gym. And then we come to the conclusion to see this is all time. Honey wasn't the answer. It just wasn't conducive and conducive to proper training and response by the body. You see, this is what I call learning. This is what I call, this is something that even if you're not looking, and most 90% of the people, guys going to train, not looking to look freaky. But no matter what you do it on a basis where you're comfortable. Not because John Doe is doing it. It's because you know you are responding to what you do. There are no special, and John Doe, now my routine was based on how I respond. You see, I respond because I never did under 8 sets on a body part. And never did over 10 reps. Because you see, my friends, you can condition or you can work the muscle. See, anything over 10, you're tiring the muscle, not working it. I wanted to work the muscle. I didn't want no energy spent on time. Look, you can take a Coca-Cola bottle and do enough curls and you'll get tired, but you won't build no muscle. The point is, concentrate. Now, as I said before, my exercises were when I came in the gym, number 1, either barbell curls or the bench presses. And number 2 was the lat machine work, the Leroy. And another thing, bring it to mind. Don't do 2 pressing exercises one after another. Don't do your bench press and then say a standing press or tricep press. Because if you do that, you don't give the muscle time enough to flow and glow. See, when your tricep push forward, your bicep push to the body, the tricep push away from the body. So when you do a curl, you concentrate your strength and your concentrate your body's in the curl. Now, once you stop that curl and the body relax, then you can go into a pushing exercise because your triceps are not indulged with blood. But if you're doing a bench press and then a bench press and then a regular standing press, what you do is that you concentrate the blood and energy in one part of the body when you want that part to be relaxing and benefiting from the bench press. So this is just hard, basically. See, this is what I'm trying to do, my friends. I'm not sitting here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't feel like talking at all, to be honest with you. But I'm so into you guys. I'm so into what we went through. I'm so into the longevity of what we did. And the difference in idea today. And all of the supplements. And you know what's fascinating to me, my friends? We always talk about, we said, man, can you imagine if we had all that stuff when we were training? The stuff you guys got today, the science they've learned from nutrition. I'm still fascinated by nutrition. Nutrition saved my life. When that time I was overworking, thought I was Superman, and my heart went out on me. But I didn't go to the hospital or anything. And I put my doctor, he got on something. He said, what the hell were you doing? Because I thought we were going to lose you. My pulse jumped. I thought I was Mr. Superman. And I wasn't a young man then. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is, I do not want to tell you, start off with the barbell curl. Start off with the bench press. Because it's really meaningless to me. I want you to come into the gym, and I want you to know the exercise. Now here, let me tell you, if you haven't been training and got your program going, some guys got their program going. They don't want no interruption. They don't want nobody telling them anything. Okay. But if you're getting into it, do your exercises on a basis where you're comfortable doing it. And another thing, try not to break your ass and lift a heavy weight as you can, because your joints go on you. You pay. A lot of older bodybuilders that didn't take drugs but used very heavy weights are paying for it now. Your joints gave up. So most of us go into this to build our bodies, and the main reason we don't stay in it is because it's no longer pleasurable. And the reason why I'm not telling you this is the way you exercise, I'm not putting that across, because it's 1,000 guys telling you that. I want to tell you how to incorporate, how to think, and how to build your body based on what is most important to you. Train the whole body, but every other day. That's a must. Now, if you want to do it more often, the reason they talk about split routines and all that today, my friends, is because of the drugs. But you see, when you talk about a split routine, think about it. Say you do a good heavy leg workout today, right, my friends? You're not recovering that day. Your body goes in recovery mode. Have you ever noticed you did a nice workout and you feel great, and then you sit down and you feel the body coming down? It's getting into the repair mode. Now, if you start that next day training another body part, you haven't gotten out of repair mode for what you did the other day. And you stay in that mode, and then bodybuilding doesn't come pleasurable. You have to be rested when you go on your next routine, enthused, can't wait to get in there. Instead of saying, oh, I got to train today. When you say that, your body is saying, Johnny, I had enough. See, it's all according to what you want to do with your body. It's all according how important that aspect is to you. What do you want? You're not going to get it overnight no matter what. You can jump, sleep, do whatever you want. You'll get it faster than we did because of the concentration and knowledge of nutrition. But you're not going to build overnight. The body has to recover. And you know what, my friends? The body tries so hard. It's a beautiful instrument. It wants so much to help you. You know, the more you put on it, the more it tries to help you. You see, but it can only go for so far. You know, that's why you see these guys that go into training for a boxing match. And right after the match, they take off for a month. The body burns out on them. You see? So I want you, my friends, I want you to understand, keep training, but train at a pace that you're comfortable in. Don't train according to what I say. Take what I say and incorporate it on what you feel. You know the exercises, but I'm telling you the exercises that I thrived on. Some guys don't like, guys didn't like to pull over. They didn't like the feel of it. Now, you don't go in the gym, start doing pullovers and hate it because I did it. If you don't like it, don't do it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to primarily guide you into what I did, an exercise that I love. And it rewarded me tremendously. And that's what I appreciate and enjoy, the rewardment, you see, of the training. I was well rewarded. And I was so happy. I was a my person. I never felt comfortable with the prevailing wisdom. I went along with it because I'm like every other person. You don't know, you follow. But we had the time and the energy, and so not so much. I don't know how long I did the 3 sets if I didn't have that. You got to do what's said. I mean, and nobody to this day know where the rule came from, but it was like a standing rule in the industry. Every other day, don't do more than 3. And I'm proud that I said to myself, I'm going to do more. And that's why I was a guy that jumped ahead so fast. So my friends, I got a lot more to talk to you about. We can go into quite a bit about and you know what's very important? The importance of maximizing your nutrition and understanding how important it is. It's so dramatically important to your response in your body. So we got a lot more to talk about. And you know what I don't want to do? Because I've been accused of being windy. He talks too much. But you know what? I'm not talking because I feel like talking. I got other things to do. I'm tired right now, to be honest with you. And the guys that know me know I'm not a spring chicken. The guys that don't know me don't know who the hell I am. That's one of the reasons I tell you who I am to the ones that don't know me, which is the vast majority. And the guys that know me know who I am. But you know what I am, my friends? I'm here for you. I don't have no prompters, nobody telling me what to say, what not to say. It's from me. It's like we're sitting around at a dinner, talking. That's what it's like. And I feel so good that I can add something to your thinking. I want to add, and I'm going to make more videos helping you to think, helping you to compile. Because you see, my friends, once you compile your own, there's a feeling of accomplishment. There's a possession feeling. That's Johnny, that's Billy. Possession, that's your routine. You can look at other people's routines, but you look at them, it's nothing but a conglomeration of how they put them in order. But when you put your routine in order, you know that's your routine. Okay, we got a lot more to go. Talk to you later.
wait a minute. Before you click away, I want you to subscribe, like, comment, hell, even dislike if you want to. At least do something before you get out of here.